Choosing a broker and establishing a price are totally unrelated to each other from the standpoint that the market determines value. Not you, not your situation, not your wants or needs, and not your broker. Your broker's primary job is to expose your home to the market. It may be a rising market, a stagnant market, or a falling market. Each market takes a different approach as to choosing what your asking price should be. Your broker's secondary job is to assist you in determining market value. Therefore, you should be hiring a broker based upon the strength of their marketing plan. After you decide who will do the best job of exposing your home to the market, you should then work together to determine where best to position your home for current market conditions. The best brokers have the confidence to tell you the truth about the market. There are a number of common misconceptions we come across that I first need to put to rest before explaining how to best position your price for any market conditions. A friend, relative, or neighbor says your home should be worth at least X number of dollars. Should you listen to a non-professional or find out what reality is from a professional? I'm going to listen to what the various brokers come up with for price and then make my decision. You would be making a huge mistake to hire a broker just because they agreed to list it at the highest asking price. Most often than not, this will result in successive price reductions and an ultimate selling price below market value because it has become shop-worn and is looked on negatively by the market. I will choose my broker based on their personality and how enthusiastic they are about my home. An overly excited broker with a great personality will not increase the value of your home. They may be fun to work with, but are they the best for what you're hiring them for? Our home is better than the comparables you're showing me. Don't always assume your home is better than the comparables. It could be, but it would need to have either a superior location, a larger size, and or strong extra amenities. Location is the largest contributing factor to being worth more. Location can't be changed, so extra value can be placed on that. Size is also a big contributing factor. Most typically, everything else being equal, the larger your house is, the more it will sell for. While having the least effect on value, certain amenities can increase value some. However, be cautious as to how much buyers are willing to pay you for some of the extra amenities. When selling a car as an example, the fact that you paid an extra $1,000 for that high-end audio system has little to no effect on the market. We've had an appraisal higher than you're suggesting. First off, when the appraisal was done can have a profound effect on its current validity. The longer back the appraisal was done, the less pertinent it is. What the appraisal was done for can often be even a larger factor. Oftentimes, appraisals done for refinance or insurance purposes can be higher than market value. Depending on a number of factors, your tax assessment may be higher or lower than true value. Also, appraisals done for estate purposes or a divorce can be skewed either up or down. Remember, the lender will be ordering a new appraisal based on current market conditions and data. So even if you are lucky enough to find someone to pay over market value, if the appraiser can't justify the sales price based on comparable sales, then your transaction may very well fail. If it fails, you have to start over with a stigma attached to your home. It's been on the market before, and the deal fell apart. You are closer to shop-worn status, and brokers and buyers are leery of homes with failed transactions because they don't know whether it was the fault of a bad inspection or what. You don't want to have a failed transaction if you can help it. We paid more than what you are suggesting for the home. Like the stock market, the real estate market goes up and down. If you buy high and sell low, it may be unfortunate, or it could work in your favor. If you're going to be repurchasing, especially moving up in value, you may be buying a bargain that was also much higher when you purchased your home. If your house lost 20%, higher-priced homes most likely also lost 20% or more. Therefore, you end up saving money over what you would have paid at a higher market value. What you paid for something, no matter what it is, does not correlate to today's value. It could be the same, higher, or lower. Aren't the improvements we've done worth anything? They might or might not, as it depends on what they are. Kitchen and bathroom remodels can gain you the most, although you will rarely get back what you spent. Cosmetic changes are least likely to gain you much, if anything. If you did improvements for your home because you wanted to live in a nicer environment, then hopefully they were worth it to you. Don't do major improvements if you expect to get your money back or make a profit. Most of the time, it just doesn't work that way. Also, if the improvements you made are not perceived as something a buyer would have done, they typically won't value it very high, if at all. Depending on what it was, it could even deter a buyer from buying the home. A swimming pool is a good example of this in our climate. They can always make an offer. While that's true, they won't make an offer unless they see your home. They won't see your home if you are priced in another bracket. They may be looking in the $400 to $450 bracket, and if you are priced at $451, you won't even make their list, as it won't show up in their searches. It will show up, however, in the bracket of higher-priced buyers who are looking for something more than you have to offer. The right price attracts the buyers you are looking for. The wrong price attracts buyers who won't be buying your home. You need to get on the list of those buyers most likely to purchase your home. If you're too far above reality, oftentimes buyers won't make an offer because they'd have to offer substantially less than asking and would be embarrassed and or don't want to offend the seller. We need to get our costs out of the home. Again, just like what you paid for it, there's no correlation. Market value is market value, and the buyers could care less what you paid for the home, what you spent on improvements, what your selling costs are, what you've spent maintaining the home, etc. We can always come down, or we want to build in bargaining room. If your home is on the market too long, buyers will wonder what's wrong with it and will offer you less than market value if they offer at all. If the market is falling, this common mistake is drastically compounded as time goes on. Depending on market conditions, buyers often do offer less than market value. However, if they want your home and recognize your price is fair, they will pay for it. If you've priced it truly at market value, while you may get low offers, you can hold firm, as it will most likely sell before becoming shop-worn. Another upside of this is that if it's priced correctly, and more than one potential buyer sees it and likes it at the same time, it could result in a bidding war. However, even then, it's still subject to the opinion of the appraiser. We need the money. Again, your need for money has no effect on the value of your home. Nobody is going to pay you more than market value because you need the money. They don't care about your situation. What you may need has absolutely no bearing on market value. Buyers are only thinking of their own situation, and their objective is to buy your home for no more than market value, if not less. I'd like to try it at a higher price. If you're overpriced, buyers and the real estate brokers will often use your home as an example to justify the purchase of another home. If you want to try it for a couple of weeks, those first 2 weeks are your hottest time to get an offer. The longer you are on the market, the less activity you will have, and the further you drop into shop-worn land. Price your home properly from the get-go so you can get it in front of the entire group of buyers currently looking for homes and not have to drop your price and wait for new buyers to come on the market. If the current crop of buyers reject your home, new ones will most likely also. It's going to cost us more where we're moving to. The tendency is to want to get more for your home so you can afford to buy a comparable home in the area you are moving to. Again, there is no correlation, as that market versus our market can be totally different, and that doesn't change the value of your home. So how do you determine market value? While the comparative market analysis is by far the most common approach, it's not a one-size-fits-all solution. There are times when a home is so unusual that there are simply no close comparables to work with. In this case, you may have to resort to the substitution approach I'll be talking about. Then there's a situation where the home has tons of comparables. When that's the case, it can sometimes help the accuracy of the analysis by utilizing a statistical approach, where again I will be explaining. Most brokers will come to you with what's called a CMA, or comparative market analysis. They will typically choose 3 sold homes to compare your home to. If done correctly with good comparables, this can be a good starting point for helping you and your broker decide where to position your price. In addition, while you won't know the actual selling price until a sale closes, taking a look at homes currently under contract can give you a sense of what asking prices resulted in a sale. While comparing your home to sold homes can give you some sense of reality, it is also important to look at what the buyers will be comparing your home to at the present time. Those are the currently active listings. It's important to not settle on a price until almost the day before your home hits the market. You want to compare it to homes similar to yours so you get a feel as to how buyers will react to your price. In addition, it's helpful to look at the expireds. These are homes that sat on the market and didn't sell. If you price your home in this range, you can expect similar results. While it's not often that brokers factor in market dynamics when evaluating the value of your home, I contend that it is very important to do so you don't price it too high or too low. While under normal circumstances, markets have fairly steady growth, there are times of rapid rises, and as we saw from 2008 to early 2013, rapid falls. Comparable sales used to determine market value are usually taken from a pool of sales from the previous 6 months. Therefore, if you are using a 6-month-old comparable and the market has dropped 10%, you will most likely be pricing your home approximately 10% over value, and it will sit and become shop-worn. Likewise, if the market went up 10% and you priced it based on 6-month-old comparables, you could be leaving 10% on the table. Therefore, with a falling market, it's critical to price the home right at market value because as time goes on, your asking price will become further away from reality. With a rising market, depending on how fast it's rising, you can usually price it more towards the high side because as the market rises, your price becomes more and more appealing. However, that does not negate the issue of becoming shop-worn. Even though your price may be good for the market, after 30 days it is starting to become shop-worn because the current crop of potential buyers have seen it and rejected it. So be careful when pushing the price beyond market value, even in a rising market. By looking at a combination of market trends, market action, recent solds, under contract properties, currently active properties, and expired listings, you will be in the best position to make an informed decision as to where to price your home. While what I've just covered may all make sense, some homes simply have no comparables and may take an entirely different approach. These are unique homes for various reasons. They could be unique in architecture, have a fantastic view, be on the waterfront, have acreage and outbuildings, have a second home on the property, or any number of other scenarios. These can be quite challenging to decide an asking price for. In most cases, it's best to separate out the components. In other words, if you have two identical homes but one has a shop, you will want to determine just how much extra value the shop may have. This, of course, will depend on the size, condition, and quality of the shop. The same goes for acreage and outbuildings. You might want to determine what a similar house would sell for on an average lot, and then factor in the difference in value between an average lot and the acreage. Some amenities are simply intangible in that there may be little to no value to them depending on how any particular buyer might view them. In other words, unique properties are valued in the eye of the beholder, which presents a challenge in evaluating market value. At the total opposite of this spectrum is where there are a lot of comparables, whether they are solds or actives. This situation may arise when you have a home in a very homogeneous area where there are a lot of sales. Very large subdivisions or large geographic regions of older homes sometimes lend themselves to an alternate approach that can provide a greater level of insight to assist in making the pricing decision. This alternate approach is something I developed based on the premise of why utilize only 3 comparables when there could be dozens. Unless you actually go to each comparable and get inside, you never truly know if they are the best 3 comparables there are. I developed a statistical approach based on an average and a standard deviation. With this approach, I can determine what a typical average comparable would sell for at the exact size of the subject home, and then what the typical high price would be and the typical low price. This gives us a range from low to high as to where a particular home will usually fall. Here's an example of a statistical analysis on one of my broker's listings. The subject house was a 61-year-old 1,356 square foot home in the Tanglewild subdivision in Lacey. Within a 1-mile radius of this home, we found 9 comparables at plus or minus 200 square feet. They were all similar-aged homes ranging from 50 years old to 65 years old. Placing these on a spreadsheet arranged by size indicates an average selling price of about $290,000 for the comparables. Based on the subject size and utilizing a statistical trend formula, that would put it at about $288,000 for an average selling price. Using one standard deviation from this number, it shows me a typical low price of about $261,000 and a typical high price of about $315,000. However, this home did not have a garage. In homes of this particular size and age, that can hurt the value by around $8,000 to $10,000. Therefore, we adjusted the values by $9,000. This graph shows the various comparable home prices with a trend line which visually evens out the highs and lows as you go up the square footage range. Assuming the subject house doesn't have anything extremely unusual, such as a shop, or has been totally remodeled when the others haven't, we now have a range of values that will help us in narrowing down the most likely selling price. After examining the location, condition, and amenities of the comparables versus the subject home, we can then better determine where, on a scale of 1 to 10, the subject property falls. As you can see from the photos, we determined that this home was 10 among all of the homes except the one that sold for $333,000. It was in top condition and had great visual appeal. We knew it wouldn't get near the highest priced comp because that one was extensively remodeled, including a very expensive high-end kitchen. Because of the price range, the lack of inventory, and the large pool of buyers we had at the time, we decided to create a bidding war by pricing it at $289,900. Sure enough, we had 7 offers and accepted one at $308,000. Right between our statistical typical high of about $306,000 and the high price per foot value of about $309,000. The appraisal came in at $308,000. There's one last thing I'd like to briefly talk about. That's online value estimates. Some of these include Chase Bank Home Value Estimator, which valued this home at $334,000. And Realtor.com estimated this home at $448,900. Redfin estimated this home at $540,821. And Zillow estimated this home at $659,525. House Values estimated this home at $742,000. Notice anything unusual? It's the same home, with estimates from $334,000 to $742,000. That's over a $400,000 difference on the same home on the same day. Shortly thereafter, we put the home on the market for $589,900, which was our recommended price after thorough analysis of value. After over 30 people viewed the home, we had one offer at the asking price of $589,900. That was true market value. The closest estimate was almost $50,000 off. Now granted, this is probably an extreme case, but the point being is that you should not let an electronic estimate from someone's algorithm sway what you think your house is worth. They could have it overvalued or undervalued. Only the actual marketplace of buyers will ultimately tell you what they will pay for your home. Hire a broker to represent you that knows the market and gives you solid advice as to where to place the asking price of your home. With the statistical tools, training, and many other resources available to them, WEBREALTY brokers have an advantage when assisting you in fine-tuning what price you should go to market with. Market value is what it is, and nothing you nor anyone else can do or hope for will change that. You need to really take your emotions about your home out of the pricing equation. You are now entering into a business transaction where ultimately the buyer who purchases your home has determined the value. Accept reality and do the best you can with it by hiring the right real estate broker to expose your home to the market and help you get the pricing element in line. Proper pricing will bring you better buyers, speed up the process, minimize the inconvenience of selling, and net you more money. I hope this tutorial on pricing has given you an understanding of the extra steps web realty brokers go to when helping you decide where you should position your price for the market. Remember, you only get one best shot at hitting a home run before your home becomes shop worn and you start losing value.